so that we really can drive our business development going forward, and also talk to our strategic partners about roles that may be suitable for you and our population. This really is our favorite 30 minutes of the week. And I know I say it every week, but it really is. First of all, I get to spend some time with my team having a chat. And you can imagine we don't get that time normally. But also we get to hear from the people that we are endeavoring to help. We are so busy. We don't always have the opportunity to be able to interact with the population like we normally could. So it's really great to be able to see who you are, who's watching, and how we can help you. If you have seen my LinkedIn profile before, and if you haven't, I do suggest and encourage you to connect with all of us. I put somewhere in there in the about section, don't get lost in my inbox, which basically means that we get so many messages on a daily basis. It's really hard to connect with everybody who wants help from us, which is why we come to you live every single week to really be able to give you our time and answer any questions that we may be able to have, or you may have rather. So we're here for the whole of the military community, whether you are a spouse, a veteran, or a transitioning service member. So I know we get lots of questions in the chats as we do this normally. Who is this for? We are here for the whole of the military population, however you are affiliated to it. If you haven't had the chance already, do check out today's hot links. They are in the event description, and they do identify a couple of resources I want to connect you to. The first is the Beginner's Guide to an Effective LinkedIn Profile. Do take a look at that. If you really do want to optimize your LinkedIn profile, or you're looking to make it as good as you possibly can because you want to network in that arena, we definitely encourage you to join our CEO, Mike Quinn's Mastering LinkedIn webinar. He does them every month, but the next one is June the 1st. It is at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. He also has one on June the 13th. At 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and they are through the USO Transitions team. So you won't see those events on Higher Military or on our Higher Military LinkedIn profile. You will see them if you go to the USO Transitions website. In addition, another question that we get asked an awful lot is, hey, can you help with my resume? And it is just so hard because as recruiters, we don't have the capacity to help everybody that needs support with the resume. But we have great connections to those nonprofits that do. And with that, if you are familiar with Hire Heroes USA, they also have a webinar on June the 7th, mark that date, June the 7th, through the USO Transitions team. And we really do encourage you to go to that. So you may have noticed that there is a new face here with us today, one that you might not have seen before. So before we go ahead and introduce, and I will tell you, you have seen this name before in the chats because our representative today is a huge advocate and champion of the military community, and is somebody that has hosted the Skillbridge internship program for a very long time at their organization. So very much excited about that conversation in a second. I'm just going to go ahead and get going on introducing the Higher Military team that is here today. So I'm Lucy. If we haven't met before, hi, it's really lovely to see you today. I am an active duty military spouse. My husband is Air Force, currently stationed at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska, just outside of Fairbanks. So if you are Army and you're familiar with Wainwright, we are just down the road, and we are already on 24 hours of daylight. You know, just a few weeks ago, it feels like we were 24 hours of winter, darkness, and summer has definitely broken here. It's great to see you today. Kate, I'm going to hand over to you.
Hey, Lucy, thanks. Really excited to be here with everyone today. My name is Kate Boyd, recruiting manager here at Higher Military. I'm an Army vet and a current active duty Army spouse. My husband is still active duty. We are on a special duty assignment here in Panama. So we're really excited to be coming to talk to you all today to share some direct hire opportunities. Just want to give a shout out to Bradley in the chats. He's always here. It's always good to see him. So I will pass it over to Amber.
Thanks, Kate. My name's Amber. I am on the recruiting team. I'm here in San Antonio, so shout out to Anna. I see you joining in from San Antonio. Military spouse, Air Force veteran. Really excited to be here with everybody today. Excited to have Jake on. He's usually in the chat, so it's nice to have him on this side. And I will pass it over to Matt Hart.
Thank you, Amber. So I'm Matt, one of the recruiters, Marine Corps veteran in East Tennessee. Normally here talking about some direct hire opportunities, but I get the opportunity to talk about Jake and Masonite and some of the opportunities they have available. So it's great to be here, share some good SkillBridge opportunities with y'all through Masonite. And then, yeah, if you see anything you're interested in, please let us know. Put it in the chat, and I'll turn it back over to Lucy.
And just as Matt fell out there, let me segue on to, if you see or hear of any roles today that you are interested in, please do let us know in the chat. Just put the job title so that we can come after the event and we can give you the URL for you to be able to see more detail. We do have some of our co-workers in the comments today who are trying to share information in real time. So if you do ask a question and we don't have the opportunity to get to it later, they will do. So just wanted to put that out there. In addition, on our website, we have 4 buttons that I want to draw your attention to. 2 of them are the direct hire career opportunities, the SkillBridge career opportunities. The other 2 are join our pipeline. So if you don't hear anything today that you are interested in, my next step for you is to go to our website. Again, those roles change on a daily basis. So what we have today that may not be of interest or relevance to your experience and skill set may and probably will change over the next couple of days. But if you don't have the ability to keep on returning back sort of 2 or 3 times a week, do drop your details in our pipelines. We have one for direct hire, so permanent jobs. We have one for the SkillBridge internship opportunity. And what that means is we go through those pools before we even go out to market with any new vacancies that come in. So it means we have the potential and the opportunity to be able to contact you and go to you first and say, hey, is this of interest to you? It also means that we know that you are looking. So as we start today, like Matt said, he is actually in the SkillBridge chat and he will be interviewing and talking to a great friend of Hire Militaries, a huge champion of veteran hiring, Jake from Masonite. So I'm going to pass back over to you, Matt.
All right, thank you. So yeah, this is a unique opportunity for the transitioning service members, even just everyone as a whole, because we have somebody we've been partnered together since June of 2021. And somebody that's really taken the SkillBridge program to heart and with us and just changed a lot of lives. So you get to hear from an employer perspective on what you can do to make yourself more competitive, just advice from the employer's perspective, but also just share a lot of unique opportunities from Masonite, one of our companies, one of our very valued clients that we have. But yeah, so what I'd like to do is just ask Jake, I'd love to hear more about you, your background and career, and then just a summary of Masonite and what they do.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, ladies. Thank you for having me today. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. So a little bit about myself. My name is Jake. I've been with Masonite for about 4 years. Started in the quality department as a quality engineer and have slowly moved into various learning and development roles here. I've got a background in elementary education as well as production supervision. So the new position that I'm in kind of it's a nice fit. It just makes sense. A little bit about our company. So we've been around for now almost 100 years. In 2025, we'll mark our centennial. We employ over 10,000 people around the globe making both residential and commercial style doors. The newest product that we're starting to launch is called the Empower Door System. We're pretty excited about that because it's got a lot of features in it that you maybe wouldn't find in a traditional type door. And we recently acquired the Endura Door Components division. So we're excited to bring that group into the Masonite family.
That's great. So kind of what I talked about at the beginning is, since, we can go into the timelines a little bit, but from your perspective, how has Masonite or how have you supported the SkillBridge program and then just kind of working with us? What are some of the things that you've done and the things you've seen from Masonite over the last almost 2 years?
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Matt. I too looked at my calendar just before this got scheduled, and I noticed we're coming up on the 2-year mark that Masonite has been in partnership with Hire Military to bring folks into the organization through SkillBridge. So as you know, we work with almost everybody now at the Hire Military staff, trying to help us find qualified transitioning personnel, working around their individual timeline constraints. That's always a challenge, but it's very exciting to be able to do that one-on-one. And in and amongst those things that qualify them for the position, or maybe finding other reasons why they are appealing to Masonite. We have to work with where would they like to be located, what is their expertise, their skills and abilities. So we really try to dial it in as close as we can to their skill set to find them a safe landing spot here at the company, depending on what they want to do, where they want to be located, those type of things. Since we partnered with you folks in 2021, we're averaging about 4 internships per year. We're excited because we have affected not just 8 individuals, but that's also 8 lives, or eight different departments and communities that we've had an effect on. And our most recent Marine is getting ready to start with us in a couple weeks here in Wisconsin, right after the 4th of July. So the transitioning service member income just continues, and going into 2023, we're looking at another 4. If we could get 5 to 8 SkillBridge interns lined up and loaded, that would be very exciting.
And I think as everyone can hear that, they got people that are just itching to bring people on, just literally getting emails like, can you post this? Can you post this? Can you find this type of person? This is the type of person we're looking for. And something that's kind of stood out to me was working with time constraints. And, you and I started working together from the very beginning, just an awkward team conversation, didn't know each other, trying to kind of figure out, hey, how do we do this? I was still new to the company, trying to figure things out. I was an intern, what am I doing? But we started off strong and it worked out really well. And I think the time constraints is huge because you all have been very flexible with their availability. And something that stood out to me, what you said was, where would they like to be located? What's their skill set to find them that safe landing spot? So it's really taking the candidate and finding a fit for that person based off their skill sets, what in their availability and what they're looking for, which isn't necessarily very common. I'll be very transparent. That's not a common thing. And it's changed, like I said, 8 lives. For what I think I remember, they're all in different jobs and different locations. I think a few were in Pennsylvania, the first 2.
Correct. Yeah, we've got a pretty good spread. Just I always keep the list over here on my monitor on sticky note, and we have them coming from almost every single branch of the service. We've got folks who had to relocate from overseas. Some people happen to already be stateside. We've got folks going into quality, operations, continuous improvement, even safety. Our most recent candidate landed his full-time position after his SkillBridge, going into a safety leadership position. And I'm glad that you described it like that, Matt, because we do try to make it customer focused. We don't have the opportunity, or I guess the luxury, to offer a cohort and bring in droves of individuals. We truly kind of attack this individual by individual. And I think our track record is pretty positive.
No, it definitely is positive. And, I think that being able to just find different jobs, and you said, we don't do the cohorts. That's like a company specific thing too. We have a few here and there, but basing off the timelines and, what's available, but also for everyone to know, these are vacancies. These are job vacancies that they need somebody to be brought in for. And the company is saying, hey, let's take the time, take advantage of the SkillBridge program and the veterans, and take them through that, however long the internship is, to fill a vacancy that we would typically need somebody with however many years of legitimate corporate manufacturing type experience. But we're going to make it an internship. I think that says a lot. But, something we talked about, was the different jobs and different locations. Are there any specific ones that you want to talk to us about? What's the priorities for Masonite right now?
Just being humorous, I would say everything that we have currently posted with you. We might be playing things a little bit on the safe side at Masonite, and truly everything that we have posted with you for I think we're up to now 13 SkillBridge internships as of this morning, if it's accurate. We're just posting those with you because they are either current vacancies, or we know that they're about to become a true vacancy. So all jokes aside, we really have those positions there, and we really need to get them filled. 2 that stick out to mind both happen to be maintenance manager positions. One is in Vandalia, Ohio. I was there on site just a couple weeks ago. Wonderful facility. It's got some great leadership in place there. And believe it or not, they actually have a track record of having SkillBridge success. Our 3rd candidate back in 2021 landed a quality manager position there. So that would be a really nice maintenance manager position to look into. The second one's a maintenance manager position, actually right down the road from where I live here in central Wisconsin, in Marshfield. We've had that one posted for a while. We're again looking for a new maintenance manager in that realm, and the hiring manager is very on board with bringing a SkillBridge candidate in. Outside of those 2 maintenance manager positions, take a look at everything that Higher Military has posted for us. We've got a couple of new HR positions. I think we sent one over to you this morning, if I'm not mistaken. We always have opportunities for EHS leadership, a couple here and there dealing with supply chain, and then various other leadership based positions.
Okay, cool. For anyone who doesn't know where Vandalia, Ohio is, it's just right outside Dayton, Ohio, in between like Cincinnati and Columbus. I'm on Google right now. I don't know these things, but when we started talking about this, I had to like learn where a lot of these locations are, and they're usually all kind of close to the major cities to where you're within decent commuting distance to, just to give people an idea of where some of these places are at. So if you were to describe in like 4 steps for someone to be able to land a skill bridge, from your perspective, what would it be?
Let's see, to present yourself in 4 steps. Number 1, you've got to present yourself as the ideal candidate. And what I mean by that is, first, make sure you have an updated resume, because there's nothing more frustrating than somebody asking for help and you look at a resume and you're like, I don't know what kind of condition this is in. That's tricky. So make sure that you present yourself as being ideal with updated resume. You've prepared your skill bridge documentation that's ready to go. And most importantly, your personality appears to be open. You can differentiate yourself. You're personable, and most importantly, you're articulate. You can say something clearly. So number 1, present yourself as being ideal. Number 2, folks, you got to dial in your location preferences or limitations. So when you say something to Matt Hart, Matt Collins, before myself, hey, I'm open to work wherever, and I say, really, you would be open to working in Wapaton, North Dakota? That's different, right? Than saying I'm truly open to wherever, Jake. So dial in your location. So after you've presented yourself as being ideal and you got your location figured out, number 3, you got to express, what is your job interest? Are you going to go nice and broad and try to find a lot of different jobs that are appealing, or are you going to narrow things down and sharpen it to a fine point and only look at a couple of specific positions? If I might add in there, please don't share, I'm looking for program management or I want to be a project manager, because quite frankly, in the civilian world, I don't know what that is. Do you want to manage personnel programs? Do you want to be the manager of a safety initiative? What do you actually want to manage? And then number 4, Matt, I would say, and you know this as well as I do, just take a chance. Get your foot in the door. If it's with Masonite, we're going to welcome you. If it's with another company, hopefully they bring you in with open arms. But there's nothing wrong with changing your career trajectory a little direction and just trying to get your foot maybe in a career path that you didn't maybe at one time anticipate. I'm going to share a real quick song lyric with you from Rod Stewart, but in one of his old songs that I used to listen to when I was younger, he said, "Time is a thief when you're undecided." And I can't think of something more treacherous to go through as a transitioning service member. And if you don't have your mind made up on a couple of these pieces of criteria, don't let time steal a little bit of that away from you. Sorry, might be an 80s dork there for bringing up Rod Stewart. That just happened.
I know who it is, but that's okay. Okay, and just to kind of wrap things up, for one last question. It's kind of touch on multiple points. We talked about the things that Masonite's done, but how has the company prepared to help the transitioning service members? A lot of companies say they're veteran friendly. Sometimes that doesn't always mean what it says, but how are you all ready? Like, how do you prepare the veteran transition space, or like the veterans transitioning out of the military? How do you all do that?
Yeah, thanks for that. That's a really good question, Matt. We've done a lot just since we originally met you and the crew there at Higher Military, 2 years ago. So first, we're trying to change our mindset here from being veteran friendly to actually being veteran ready. So the first major milestone that we achieved was in 2021. We launched our Veteran Leadership Development Program. We've got a pretty good track record there, again, with 8 individuals going through that. It's kind of an all-encompassing or comprehensive look at how do you prepare to go into any position at Masonite full-time after you've completed your internship. So if you reach out to any of the Higher Military staff and you show interest in Masonite, you're going to go through that program. And again, it's got the track record. We have our support group, both the Higher Military Skill Bridge support group as well as the vet group here at Masonite. So we have 2 different groups that are welcoming our Skill Bridge folks in, providing them with support and just the basics on networking and meeting other Masonite professionals. And then we have our new vet team that's been around for right around 1.5 to 2 years that, again, is providing more support for veterans, but kind of on a much grander scale. We've equipped our hiring managers with some materials that they can use to properly interview our incoming SkillBridge interns. So thank you to Lucy and Kate for putting those together. That was really nice of you to help us out with those. And again, we are also posting our SkillBridge positions with Hire Military that are guaranteed immediate job vacancies, or they're about to become vacancies. So we're doing our very best to make sure that what we post on your website and offer for SkillBridge has a almost 100% chance. I can't say 100%, but as long as you don't professionally mess it up, folks, you're going to get a job with us.
That's a lot, and it's all valid. I think there's one person that he took another job in another state somewhere. Everyone else has gotten the job. So I think that says a lot. But,
Correct.
I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Again, that's Masonite, very large door manufacturing, a ton of opportunities. You can contact us or go on our website, see all the different Masonite opportunities that we have. If you have questions about the company specifically, you can reach out to Jake. But hey, thank you for taking the time to be here. This was amazing, and it was great to reconnect because we haven't talked for a while.
Yeah, you're like my roots, man. This is good stuff.
This was fun. We appreciate it as a whole. Trust me, and I think everyone out there watching got a lot of perspective. Seeing things from the other side. So again, thank you very much. I'll turn it over to Amber, and we'll talk more about like the direct hire opportunities that we have available.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Jake. Thanks so much for joining us. Oh my gosh, so much information for our community. That's fantastic. I think what really stands out is just the fact that the SkillBridge partners that we have, they really understand and they want to offer that soft landing spot for our folks, which I think is fantastic. But from here, I'm going to share a couple direct hire. Well, I'll share one direct hire opportunity, brand new. We just posted it this morning. If you don't hear of a position that's of interest to you, can you check out our website, hiremilitary.us. Just take a look there. We are updating that page on a regular basis. So I'll jump right in. I have a support technician position. This is in Raleigh, North Carolina. This is a temporary role, and it's customer facing, working in a high volume environment with our client. They are a leading public sector management and consulting and operations improvement firm. So the requirements for this support technician include a degree or relevant experience. And so an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or 3 years experience. This is a little bit of an interesting position because they want somebody that sits in Raleigh, but you are able to do the work remotely. So they're open to that. But with that comes a candidate who is self-motivated and has exceptional written and oral communication skills. If that position is of interest, please type support technician in the chats and I will reach out to you and share the link after our chat. And I'm going to pass it over to Kate from here and she'll share a couple more roles.
Thanks so much, Amber. Wow. I know North Carolina is a very hot state for our transitioning service members. Our veterans, male spouses to live as well. So it's an exciting opportunity to know that they can do it in a remote capacity from North Carolina. I do have a couple direct hire roles to share with you today. The first one being a capital project engineer. As a reminder, again, these are open to anyone that is open to work now in a direct hire capacity. This capital project engineer role, we have a couple openings with this client located in the Tampa metro area. Our client is a Fortune 500 global mining company and one of the world's largest leading integrated producers of key minerals that are processed into crop nutrients to help feed the world. So a very unique industry and amazing mission that they have at this organization. They're looking for engineers that have a degree in mechanical, electrical, civil, or chemical engineering, and at least 2+ years of experience in that field. I do want to offer, this company has a very robust relocation package, honestly, unlike anything we've ever seen before from a company. So if you are in that field of engineering and would like to learn more, you can type capital project engineer into the chat. Matt Hart is actually the lead recruiter for this role. And he'll be able to get you more information, the direct link, and share more about that amazing relocation package as well. I just have one more role to share. These are an upcoming roles that we have for our community. We will get them posted later this week, but we are looking for communication consultants in a remote capacity. We are looking for anyone that has 3 to 5 years of experience with land mobile radios and related wireless communication systems. So I'm thinking from the Army NE25 series, enlisted personnel or officers. This is a great opportunity for you. Again, we will get those posted later this week. But if you are in the comms field from the military, if you want to just type communications consultant in the chat, I'll be able to reach out to you to share more information on that role as we post them later this week. So that is what I have for you today in terms of direct hire. Again, remember, we have so many openings on both our SkillBridge and direct hire careers pages. So if you didn't hear something that's of interest today, go ahead and check that out later on. And I will pass it over to you, Lucy.
Hey guys, Kate, those are amazing roles that you just shared, and you, Amber, as well. I mean, North Carolina and remote, I think, check 2 out of the top 5 locations that were ever asked for. So thank you so much for those. Jake, it was such a pleasure to have you today. If you are not familiar with Jake from Masonite, he is in our comments every single week. Like I said before, he is a staunch advocate and champion of ours here at Higher Military. We just love him. And he is so open and ready, veteran ready, like he said, in terms of bringing SkillBridge interns into Masonite. And I think he made a really good point, and I want to reiterate it before we finish today, which is be open to other companies. As a career counselor, and I've worked in the veteran space or the transitioning service member space for quite a while now, people come and they have a real idea of who they want to work for, which is amazing because we always want you to have a stake in the ground. But normally it's the big box companies that everybody has heard of. But what I will say to you is, and Masonite's a big company, it's not a small to medium enterprise, consider other opportunities because you are going to have more of an impact in a smaller company than you would have in one of those big, large conveyor belt type ones. Your voice, your opinion, your leadership skills, your qualities, the aptitude and the attitude that you have honed and refined from the military is going to be so appreciated, revered, and supported within smaller organizations. And Masonite absolutely is a huge proponent of that. So really did want to say thanks again for Jake sharing that information with us. We have had a couple of questions in the chat today. The first thing is, I know there have been a couple of people saying this is great information. If you are not familiar, we do this every 2 p.m. Eastern time every week. Also, Mike Quinn and I do LinkedIn audio. So it's very similar to this in terms of format, but it's not a recorded program like this one. We go live normally 1 p.m. Eastern time every other Thursday. So it's not this week, it would be next week. And we open up for an hour. We call it office hours. And it's like a Q&A session where we sit there and we wait for people to ask us questions because it is our time to be able to give back and just give you that information or that support that you may need. I'm not sure if my mic's picking it up today, but I live on an Air Force base and we're in the middle of an exercise. There are jets overhead right now. So if you can hear those, huge apologies. As we wrap up today, Jimmy Bander asked, how far out should we start looking for SkillBridge opportunities? So Matt, I'm going to throw that one over to you. Initial thoughts, what do you think?
I saw that it was July as the retirement date. So right now is the time to do it. Anyone out there, if you know you're getting out, retirement, or you're just transitioning out 12 to 18 months out, but you're in a great opportunity right now, 14 months out, give or take, to network, figure out, where do you want to live, research the different companies, what do you truly want to do, and build your network. And you can start looking at the SkillBridge opportunities that are available, see, if you're eligible, if you meet the qualifications, what you need to get to that point, connect with other people within the companies, veterans specifically, to get a foot into the door, to be able to build that relationship. So when your time comes, when you're 2 to 3 months out from your eligibility, which is within your last 180 days, anytime within that window. Right now, if it was November 23rd, bad at math, Marine Corps, I don't do math well. 6 months before this was when my eligibility would start. That's the window I had. So long story short, right now.
Perfection. Thank you. And last question, somebody asked, I think it was McCoy, that was the name in the chat. Please share what the Masonite SkillBridge intern HR roles are. So they're located in Thorpe, Wisconsin, Haleyville, Alabama, and Dixon, Tennessee. Amber, Kate, Matt, anything more to add today?
Nothing. Thank you.
It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back 2 p.m. Eastern time next Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.